episode of Enjoy the Buzz. This time, hopefully, all the way through.
Hopefully all the way through.
But for those of you who were able to catch, unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties last week, but we did do a pretty dope Instagram live. If we were able to catch it, we'll try and do the other things on again. But,
yeah, so be sure to follow our Instagram so we can let you know when we go on IG. The main channel is Enjoy the Buzz, and then we got ours pulled up, and then we got our boy Malcolm over here,
exactly.
Woo!
Malcolm's back in the chair, making things much easier having him here.
100%.
And now, hopefully, everything works. But, we survived another week, and it's a pretty dope week for a lot of interesting topics that we'll be going through in the future.
Definitely.
But, some things that we kind of wanted to talk about, at least, like, highlight is, we've done quite a few sketches at this point in time now.
Yeah,
quite
definitely.
a few of them. So we just kind of want to highlight some of them, kind of throughout the episode. Just like, all right, for those of you that haven't seen it, because, we have been doing quite a few episodes. And some of our audience may not know, what were the original sketches that we worked with. Or, maybe some of your favorites get to watch again.
Yeah, right, exactly. And they're funny as fuck. They're all A1. They're all, like, the best sketches on YouTube right now, all right?
To the writers.
So, you're welcome to you guys, this is a service for you guys. So, let's check out, like, Buzz Class. It's one of our very first ones we did. And it's still a testament of how we're trying to figure things out at this very moment today, months later,
Let's take a step down memory lane and see the Buzz Class.
It can be an intimidating journey, but with the right group of people, it can be a very rewarding experience.
Everyone has something to say, but it's important to develop an organic following. That way they'll stick with you the entire journey.
Bro, you could buy followers. No, I'm looking at the page right now. We could buy 10,000 for $90. Bro, they all comment back. Yeah, get back to me. Alright, go.
Be an individual. Be unique. We're going to help you find your voice and separate yourself from the masses. Have you ever tried DMT before?
Dude, DMT is so fucking wild.
It is so crazy.
Last time I took it, I was thinking this purple lady, I was just tripping balls.
I found a purple lady too. Hey, Malcolm, can you pull it up?
Nah, I'm colorblind.
You think we can still hire Jamie?
Having the best quality equipment, makes the best product. You need to spend money in order to make money in this business. Free audio software. There we go.
Hey, bro, where's the plug for this thing?
Huh?
This thing ain't got no cord on it.
Oh.
How are we supposed to record with no cord on it?
Shit. Might as well use our phones.
In the podcasting world, having the right team can take you very, very far. You want to be able to build the right environment to let creativity flow in and out without having to worry about people clashing. You want to make sure that everyone can bring their own strengths to the table. That way you can create the best product possible.
Hey bro, that's like the wrong color orange.
Bro, I'm colorblind. What do you expect?
Fuck, man. Alright. That's what Justin gets for hiring you from fucking Craigslist, huh?
I'm still here.
Alright, now this is important. Crunch time is go time. This is where the weak will fail and the strong will prevail. That's not the right fucking font, Malcolm.
Okay, but I was just doing what you said I should do.
Dude, it's just a fucking font. How hard is it to do?
Okay,
man?
but I have to download millions
Y'all
of
supposed to be the creative ones. I'm supposed to be the talking guy, man.
Download the font we needed, Malcolm.
That's what I'm using!
You're using Comic Sans!
What do you expect from me? And that's all there is to it. Can't wait to see what you come up with our class.
And welcome back. And we're back. You're going to see a little bit of the screen recording at the end there.
Good.
Everything's being improved upon. But that was, a trip down memory lane. It was, like you said, one of our first sketches. And it was a pretty dope one.
Yeah, dude, it's so fucking cool. It's pretty clean, right?
And, maybe, our equipment and setup may not be, the best in terms of how well we're using it. But in terms of the content and the sketches, we've been hitting the ground running.
We motherfucking bosses, you
and
heard?
To ensure that we can keep on running with no delays, we got to make sure to stay hydrated.
Mm-hmm. Drink.
Also,
And
we
corny.
shall drink.
I don't don't know why I did that. I apologize.
But there's a lot of cool stuff that we want to talk about, especially, our bread and butter. What we got today for y'all is Marvel and hip hop news.
Marvel and hip hop, two of our very fucking favorites.
Mm-hmm.
What are we starting off with?
Let's start with Marvel. I feel like let's save the best for last.
All right, for sure.
And it's kind of crazy to say considering just how much stuff we got from Marvel itself, just this sheer magnitude. So kind of some context. Recently, Marvel Studios released the Enjoy the Movies trailer. I think that was the name of the trailer itself.
Right, and with a nice, dubbing from Stan Lee, which was really nice and touching.
It was really nice to be able to see, they're still finding ways to make sure that he still has some sort of impact onto the Marvel Universe.
Yeah, I think they still have, another 20 or so cameos already pre-recorded for the future.
That is amazing.
And probably more. That's just from what I heard, before he died. So I'm sure they have a lot more going on now, which is pretty cool. We're always gonna have Stan Lee in our hearts for many years to come.
And yeah, I'm really happy they did that. It was added a little extra touch, but the trailer itself showed so much. It wasn't another press conference where okay, this is our roadmap. This is what we're planning on doing. Here's logo A. Here's logo B.
It was a roadmap, but it was a roadmap for the fans. It wasn't a roadmap for the investors.
And I think that was the big reason. Having the Stan Lee also made that too. It's hey, Stan Lee's talking about he enjoys just talking to people. He enjoys interacting with the worlds he helped create and the people who appreciate them the most.
Yeah.
And see
the bonds that they all have together. I love how much they focus on all the characters' own families and stuff like that. There's a lot of core values in Marvel, which I really like a lot.
Ironically, the storytelling in the trailer too.
Yeah.
Because how they set up, he's your brother, she's your sister and whatnot, and it's the family situations leading into all the titles.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That was insane. So, for those of you that have not seen the trailer,
I like the whole he's your brother and you got Killmonger and T'Challa and then your sister and you got Gamora and Nebula. I was like, oh man, these are all little cool touches.
Yeah, and it's super exciting, especially again foreshadowing what's gonna be presented in the future. So, quick rundown of all the titles that just got announcement dates. And this is kind of the big thing. So we got Black Widow is up first at bat.
She is up first.
Mm-hmm. Then we got Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings.
Which is pretty cool.
Which is super dope. Looks really dope.
And the one I'm most excited for, Eternals right after.
First footage we've seen of the Eternals.
Yup. And I don't know if you want to run some of the Marvel footage we got put up there. It looks badass. Alright, we got Kumail Nanjiani. A nice little snippet of him looking like Tom Cruise taking off his sunglasses, That was pretty dope.
Ultra
and Angelina Jolie with her fucking sword. I'm like, holy shit, this is gonna be a whole different experience.
Yeah, it looks super sick. Then we have Spider-Man No Way Home.
I did not expect that to be for this year.
Yeah, I did not expect that.
That threw me off.
If I remember correctly, it's
it's holiday, yeah.
It's November, December.
That's exciting. I totally thought first year as 2022. I was not holding my breath for that to come out this year. So
and
that's
then
awesome.
Immediately following that is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
So, the combination of those two movies back to back, what can we see?
Yeah.
Then follow them in the near future, Thor Love and Thunder, which I still fucking love that title name.
Yeah, heck
so
yeah.
Awesome.
It's and the logo and everything looks so fucking badass, dude.
I love it. It looks like one of those 80s fucking video game arts of He-Man.
Wave? It's something Wave. I know Malcolm knows the title, right? Those retro grid looking.
It's
Vaporwave.
Vaporwave. That's the name. Yeah.
The one that would you not expect to know.
I said that once a long time ago. I forgot.
I've made a lot of vaporware designs too for different clients, but tip of the tongue, I lost it.
Following Thor Love and Thunder, then we have the foreshadowing that presented Black Panther. Wakanda Forever.
That title had me way more hyped than anything.
I actually got really emotional for that.
That title is so heavy, bro. That is so dope.
And then immediately following, it's the Marvels, which there's so much interesting stuff there.
Hold on, before we get to that, I like the logo. Obviously, it's going to be Captain Marvel, and then obviously Kamala Khan's going to be a part of it. Yeah, I highly expect Monica Rambeau to be a part of it. But, they threw in the OG Miss Marvel logo. The OG, before Carol Danvers turned into Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So that part has me stoked, and the internet is not really talking about it. So now we're getting another variant of Miss Marvel.
Which is possible. Okay, so we're getting a little too much between the weeds right now. We're trying to go through the list first. Okay. So then after the Marvels, we have Ant-Man and the Wasp and the Quantumania, which, all right, super excited to see that. Again, we'll go into some more details later.
I'm a big Paulette fan. Let's bring it. Hank Pym.
The last thing that had an official date release was Guardians and the Galaxies Volume 3.
Yup, and I think we're getting the holiday special before 3 even comes out,
I think we're getting the holiday special this year.
Yeah, so I don't even think that was a part of the lineup. So we got a lot of
so it's
delicious stuff coming in soon, you know?
And then to end it off, we don't know exactly when, but we were definitely teased without any sort of information.
The Fantastic Four.
The Fantastic Four, which could potentially mean my boy, the one and only, the greatest villain, the mad villainy, Doctor Doom, could potentially be in the Marvel Universe. But let's break all these things down. What can we potentially see? What are we excited about? What are you the most excited for? You said the Eternals.
Okay, I'm most excited for Eternals, I'm most excited for Spider-Man, and Guardians. And, of course, Love and Thunder. But I would say the first 3 are, the ones I'm, most hyped for.
Okay.
And also, Multiverse of Madness, honestly, I don't even know, I can't even,
yeah, there's
say
so
what
many
I like
things
more,
to
be honest.
For.
Yeah.
Because even with Multiverse of Madness, alright, we have talked a plethora how much we absolutely enjoyed WandaVision. How much, that really fucking took us for a loop and took us by surprise. And Multiverse of Madness is featuring Wanda Maximoff as the Scarlet Witch.
And now we already know, she could, manipulate people's, perceptions of reality in a humongous scale. Now with, the Sorcerer Supreme involved, a lot of shit can go down.
Where did you see a movie with fucking grand wizards doing some crazy grand shit?
I know, bro. It's gonna be so I don't even think we've ever had, a movie similar to that. Just a bunch of wizards really just going at it like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, not good anyways. Okay, alright, so do you want to go through them one at a time, talk about what we're excited to see of each one of them, or just talk about our favorites in the list?
Let's go through them in order. Right?
Okay,
so let's start off with Black Widow.
Black Widow, okay. I'm actually pretty interested to see Black Widow, seeing just the charismatic nature of, a small town cop becoming the Russian fucking superstar.
Yeah, right?
I'm more interested to see the movie just for him. I forget the actor's name.
Yeah, Hopper.
Hopper from Stranger Things.
Yeah, I don't remember his name either, but he's a great actor, and I'm super stoked for him also.
And he's so charismatic in the trailers already that I really want to see how his character develops.
Yeah, hell yeah. I hope, he's not, a one-off for that movie. I hope he gets, brought in a lot more in the future. But I'm most excited for Taskmaster. He's one of my favorite Marvel villains. So that's gonna be super cool. And I really hope they don't one off him.
Yeah,
because he has so much in his skill set that can be used to take on really anybody. So
that's true. And that's the thing I think, because Taskmaster is one of he's one of the coolest villains.
Yeah. In
the Marvel universe, and I'm really excited to see him. But because I'm so apprehensive of how they're gonna handle him. Because it might be that one-off. It might just be that story, just a bridge character. And that's the part of the biggest fear of for this movie in general. Not because I don't think it's going to be good.
Right.
Because if we have learned very recently, Marvel can't miss.
No, they can't miss. And if anything, I feel like he's most likely going to be a one-off. Because, he can take on, maybe Iron Man or Captain America, no problem. But once he starts fighting heroes with superpowers and shit, which is starting to be the majority of the cast now, he's a little underwhelming now at that point.
And mind you, this is before, I think, Infinity War, right? Before Infinity War and Endgame.
This is around that 5-year gap when she decided to disappear.
Yeah, so it's we know for a fact Taskmaster, his whole arc has to be finished.
Right.
His whole situation has to be finished, or he gets away and gets part of another criminal science syndicate that we probably won't see for the future. But again, Black Widow, I think isn't the standout of this whole situation.
No, she really isn't, which is kind of hurtful to say.
Yeah, it is. Considering how long we've been waiting for it.
Yeah,
it was originally, we need it, we want it. Alright, cool.
The thing is, we've been waiting for so long. It's alright.
It lost kind of some of the mystique.
Yeah.
But Shang-Chi, brand new fucking trailers, been dished out, and there's a lot of hype around it.
I'm excited for that one. I'm a big Aquafina fan too, so like that's gonna be a big pull for me.
Yeah, ironically, she's the reason why I want to see this movie
That's
a lot.
so funny.
I love the fact that it's like, you know, a crouching tiger, hidden dragon kind of style in the Marvel universe, kind of taking that I like the cinematic viewpoint and bringing that to the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
How that's gonna be interpreted or how it's gonna be done, you know, we'll wait to see. But I just want to see Aquafina kind of do some shit because she just sold me after Jumanji.
It's gonna be such an insane trip to like see all these like crazy powers together. You know, you got like the super martial artists and the wizards and the people who fly and the people in like War Machine like outfits and shit like that. Like, there's just so much going on. Like,
I'm really curious to see who is gonna be the big bad at the end. Most likely Doctor Doom. Better be Doctor Doom. Because the more Doctor Doom screen time we get, the better. Anyhow, moving on. I mean,
yeah.
Anything else you want to say about Shang-Chi though? Because it does look like a dope movie.
I don't know too much about Shang-Chi in general, so like, you know, just from what I've seen the trailers, you know, that's all I know.
Yeah, I mean, potentially Fing Fang Foom, you know, the giant dragon has some interaction with the Mandarin, and you know
that
cool.
makes a lot of sense.
That'd be cool to kind of see. Yeah.
Yeah, with the Mandarin coming back, but you know, again, I brought this up before. Ben Kingsley still has to come back in one shape or form, you know.
I feel like he's going to. I feel like that needs to happen, especially since that one-off short that they did where Ben Kingsley's character does get taken out of jail to meet the real Mandarin. We're gonna see the real Mandarin. How does that work? But now on to the one that you singled out first, the Eternal.
Super sick. Dude, like, we're getting gods, alright?
Yes.
We're getting gods into the MCU, and it's so exciting how, like, they're characters that, you know, are not your stereotypical, like, Chris Evans, you know, looking characters. You know, it's a very diverse group of characters, you know? One of them's, like, legit death. You know, we got Kumail Nanjiani, the pinnacle nerd of nerds, you know? I mean,
he may have been jacked as shit for it, but he's still one of ours.
He's still one of ours. You know, I've been following him in the Indoor Kid since the very beginning, alright? So that's my boy. Angelina Jolie, she is still a badass. She does not stop being a badass. What the fuck is up with her? That one homie from Atlanta, I forgot his name, but I'm super excited for his involvement too. Like, the cast right now is so fucking
The cast is super
it's
good.
so dope.
And especially since, you know, the Eternals is supposed to be like this ancient race, you know. They have one of them, I forgot which one specifically, but it has interaction with the Celestials. And, you know, we've seen the Celestials before in Guardians of the Galaxy with the Infinity Stones and whatnot. I believe like the giant one with the hammer with the original, I forgot which one. I think it's the Reality Stone. The correct one, the purple one? I forget.
I believe it's Reality Stone.
Oh, I could be wrong. Internet fact check me if that's the case. But yeah, you know, we saw some of the Celestials to see now. How did we start? Like, how did all the heroes start from the beginning? How are they to now? Because part of what I've seen in a breakdown trailer is that when they show the lineup, when it's all of them looking to the distance, you can see a camera crew there, which could be, you know, a flub of editing.
Right.
But Kumail Nanjiani's character is supposed to be a Bollywood superstar.
Yeah, the way he comes out in that trailer, I believe it. Like I mentioned earlier, like he looked like Tom Cruise, you know, holding on his jacket, taking off his sunglasses, looking all
really
suave and shit. I'm like, oh my god, alright, this guy over here.
So it's interesting to see, you know, are we gonna get that ancient history all the way to present history? Where was the Eternals' interaction with Infinity War? Where were they at Endgame? Why did they never show up? You know, what happens? What are the potentially? Because if we're seeing the beginning of history and the Eternals have, you know, they're these modified super beings who are at god tier levels, could potentially set up some stuff with some mutants.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, okay, we have that coming up, alright? And then with Wakanda Forever and Fantastic Four being almost side by side, that has the whole Doctor Doom arc right there. And then with the Multiverse of Madness, like, I'm expecting crazy villains. There's like insane shifts that are happening. We're getting gods, multiverses, and like we're getting Doctor Doom on top of that, you know?
Potentially.
Doctor Doom. So like, I don't know, bro. These stakes. They feel way heavier than Thanos.
Exactly, because alright, so then leading on to the next one, Spider-Man: No Way Home. We know that immediately afterwards is the Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, that's gonna spark it up.
We need some multiverse shit in Spider-Man, and you know, the rumor is it's almost pretty like much freaking confirmed at this point that every iteration that we've seen on the silver screen of Spider-Man is gonna be in this film.
And I'm very hopeful for it. You know, it's gonna be super exciting to see. Some good old Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Mm-hmm. Let's go.
And I'm curious to see if every iteration of J. Jonah Jameson is going to be featured in the film.
That would be interesting.
Isn't it wait, is he the same actor in all 3 iterations, or was his never one for Andrew Garfield?
I don't know if he's in Andrew Garfield. I don't know about that one.
I don't think they ever had.
Yeah, I know he's in the Sam Raimi verse. We need freaking Bruce Campbell though. That's the most important one. We need him back for sure.
That would be awesome
to
see
that.
That
needs to happen.
I think the thing that I'm really excited about for Spider-Man though is I'm really curious to see. I'm really interested in the villains. Yeah. That is actually something we know nothing about. The rumor is we know potentially have the Sinister Six. Mm-hmm. You know, that's a big thing. If we're doing multiverse, we can pull from all different iterations.
I hope we get a setup of the Sinister Six in Phase 4. I hope it's not fleshed out till the end of Phase 6.
You mean Phase 4? You mean?
No, okay. I hope it. Because we really didn't get much of like Thanos talk to the end of Phase 1, beginning of Phase 2.
Oh,
right?
okay.
So like, I hope like this just kind of starts the Sinister Six up, and it's not the traditional Sinister Six that like it's not only the Spider-Verse Sinister Six, and I just hope it sets it up because Doctor Doom is a part of it too, right? In some variations. Yeah, so like I just hope it just turns into like a fucking League of Villains by the end of Phase 6, and it's just an all-out war of fucking just epic villains against epic heroes, because with the Endgame, Thanos was really the only epic villain against Thanos' army, so I want to see the same mass of epic heroes against the same mass of epic villains. Just fucking
because when we saw the Black Order, which is Thanos' generals, the children that he adopts, Gamora being one of them, but then kind of refuses that. Right?
I like that telepathy, dude. He's a fucking monster.
To see all of them kind of get wiped away pretty quickly, and kind of like pretty nonchalantly, it was like it's not really like an epic thing. It's just like, okay, now they're gone, kind of thing, and now you just have the head honcho. I'm really curious to see how they set up the Sinister Six in that regard, because in a way, I kind of want it to be resolved fairly quickly in terms of if we're doing the original cast of the Sinister Six, because I really don't want Spider-Man to just be staying in New York. I want him to go and do some other stuff, which is Sinister Six, kind of as in their base form, really only stay in New York.
Yeah.
So if we're doing more kind of like what you're saying is that as it develops and it evolves and gets more of like these crazy casts and whatnot.
Yeah, I don't want it to be like Spider-Man specific.
Yeah, I want to see so much more for that. But again, Spider-Man has so much opportunity for doing so many different crazy things. And to even get to the craziest part, and potentially like the craziest one out of all these films, is going to be Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
That's just going to be a mind trip. The first movie was already a mind trip.
Heck yeah.
This is like raising the stakes. It's supposed to be like the first insane horror movie from Marvel. Like it's gonna be a horror movie. That is fucking rad.
And it's like the amount of different things that you can fuck with. It's a multiverse of madness, the different worlds, the different universes, the different variations of stuff. We've seen Scarlet Witch already do some crazy fucking shit. She created the sitcom in so many different generations. And that was like by accident. Imagine full-fledged fucking power, already been fucking hammering the Darkhold in terms of studying it. The one book that all the Sorcerer Supremes were like, this cannot go into the wrong hands.
And the thing is, it will. And my theory is something's going to happen with the Darkhold that's going to bring out vampires into the MCU.
Because we got Blade.
We got Blade.
Blade at some point. We need these horror creatures.
And it makes the most sense coming out of the Darkhold. And Sam Raimi's making it, right? And he has plenty of experience with the Necronomicon already. Yeah. So it makes perfect sense.
And if we're talking about cameos from Bruce Campbell, the best way to do it is to not only do it in Spider-Man, but do it with the man he's been working with for generations,
Ash
dude.
Williams, my boy.
Ash Williams is the defender against zombies. He's the defender against all those fucking ghouls.
He's the defender of the darkness, the army of the darkness.
And we're in the multiverse of madness.
It's his world. We're just living in it.
Exactly.
I think that probably went over everybody's head.
It was an Old Spice commercial back in the day.
If you know, you know. Let's just throw it out there just for the story.
Yeah. So if you haven't seen it, watch it, Google it. Because if you have it and you don't use it, then you lose it. Also part of the commercial.
Like the great Steve Carell once said.
I don't,
in the 40-year-old version, he's like, because he went to this sex class, to learn a trick or two. And he's like, excuse me, like, is it true if you don't use it, you lose it?
I haven't seen that movie forever, so
it's been a while. I don't know why that just popped up.
I'm surprised you remember that one specific scene too. That's kind of a random throwaway.
That was all over the trailers. I don't know. I found that scene hilarious.
Well, you're also a big film person too, anyways. Then we have Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Dude, this is one that is like on the higher end of what I'm really excited about because I'm really curious if we do Beta Ray Bill. Beta Ray Bill would be super sick because we already seen like his face as one of the champions of the arena back in Thor 3. I forget the name.
Was it Ragnarok?
Ragnarok.
Okay, shit. Yeah.
In the stadium when you're going to the planet, you see Beta Ray Bill's face as like one of the statuettes.
That's cool.
As one of the champions, before the Hulk became the champion. So to know that, we now have the Thor's hammer and we have Stormbreaker. We have Mjolnir and Stormbreaker. And for those who don't know, Stormbreaker is actually supposed to be Beta Ray Bill's. Like that's his weapon of choice. Like that's what his version of Mjolnir is called originally.
That's crazy. I did not know that.
So to see, Love and Thunder, to see the Thunder gods themselves, the only person to go toe to toe with Thor and use his own weaponry against him, like in a battle. Beta Ray Bill, dude, I'm hyped as fuck because he's the biggest arc I can see.
I feel like Thor would be so petty, bro. Cause like first, Lady Thor is gonna have to take one of his hammers, and then Beta Ray Bill takes the other hammer. He's like, bro, what the fuck? I'm the god of thunder here. Okay, like you're
everyone's taking my thunder.
And like he's like his ego in the series, like it's so mighty and big, so he's gonna be like petty about it.
But that's what I'm really excited about because every single time that like Thor is always the best when he has like that sibling dynamic with somebody to shoot the shit with.
Yeah, definitely.
We know Loki's gonna be the time
cop. He had it with Valkyrie. He had it like
with Raccoon, and
he has it with Bruce.
Loki is gonna be a time cop. Rocket Raccoon is doing his Guardian stuff. Valkyrie is running New Asgard. Hulk, I don't know what the fuck he's doing. So he needs that sibling again. He needs that like person to shoot the shit with. Might as well be his fucking equal.
How soon do you think we get Maestro Hulk?
That would be really interesting.
Oh man, because that's apocalyptic right there. That's like the world has to end for him to come.
It'd be interesting to see that dynamic too.
Yeah. But I don't know if we need another world-ending scenario because, like, it'd be corny if we just go back in time again to fix
because,
that.
We have Secret Invasion, we have Armor Wars 2, we have a lot of these big arcs that are supposed to change a lot of how the dynamic is supposed to be. And these are side shows that are going to be happening as everything is going on.
Yeah. I'm pumped for Armor Wars, though.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that, too.
Just a bunch of mechs fucking each other up.
It's already potentially been lined up, too. The Power Broker being fucking...
Oh, yeah, heck yeah.
Hinted
Sharon
at,
Carter.
Sharon Carter saying, we had a whole bunch of arms deals that could be sold now. That's a lot of new Stark Tech.
And she was always something sketchy about her.
But, the nation that has the most technology. And I'm really curious to see how they interpret what's going to go on, which it's Black Panther and the Wakanda Forever. I'm really interested to see what they do with this movie because...
To me, the title sounds like it's not about one specific person. It's about world building.
And I think that's the best part about it, too. Because I think that's why Black Panther, the first film, really captivated me so well. Because, and I was saying this for months after it came out, it's like, it was a great Marvel movie, but I think the standout was how well it did world building.
Yeah,
everything.
I agree, and we hardly really got to see the nooks and crannies of Wakanda too. Like now, hopefully, we're gonna be able to actually experience what all these alleyways and stuff look like the way Ragnarok did it. Because like Ragnarok showed so much of the inner cities and stuff like that of that world, So that's what I'm hoping to see a lot more of in Wakanda forever.
And the thing that I'm most excited for. Biggest excited. Okay, so Wakanda's without a king. Depending on how they're gonna do it, apparently the director already figured out how they're gonna handle T'Challa no longer.
Yeah, and Denai Guerrera gave it the green light too.
So there's a lot of we know that it's gonna be written well, and we know there's a game plan for it. At the same time, this is more for selfish reasons. We know that the Panther God gets to determine who gets the vibranium. Mm-hmm. And a kingdom without a king is kind of subject to be overruled. And why not by the king himself, the fucking god sorcerer, the one who is allowed out of every other person besides the Black Panther to walk into Wakanda and take whatever he wants and be able to walk out, and the god says it's cool. Dr. Doom himself.
Yeah.
One of the original scenario was dealing with a vibranium getting stolen. Mm-hmm. But what if it's not stolen, but actively and given permission to be taken away by an unknown invader?
Yeah.
And that's the interesting part. I'm really curious to see that. Mm-hmm. Because we have already kind of seen that a little bit.
I want to see like the whole build up that actually like shows why he's worthy to take the vibranium. Mm-hmm. You know, like
I feel like they
want
have
that
to
to
show
be
that.
a slow simmer.
Because Doctor Doom doing that in the comic books was what solidified me, at least, for that being my favorite villain in the Marvel Universe, hands down, whatsoever.
Yeah, you broke that shit down for me. I was like, oh, damn, that's pretty deep. Okay, for sure, bet.
You know, he is one of the best scientists in the entire universe, one of the best sorcerers, can go toe-to-toe, surprisingly, with Doctor Strange, depending on what boost Doctor Strange gives himself. You know, he's phenomenal. He's really excellent, but then to know that his convictions are so strong, mm-hmm. no matter how twisted and demented they may seem, they are true and they are pure. And that's the crazy part. And I'm curious to see if they'll actually implement that.
And Thanos was very much like that. So, mm-hmm. I want to see how much more they really execute that.
Exactly. We know how they're doing it. And we know this movie will be emotion-packed heavy just because of, you know, we lost one of the most prolific members of the MCU. How do we deal with that now?
Yes.
But, you know, now we're seeing some other things, like you mentioned before. We were getting some tad bits into it. Something else that we know kind of exactly who are all the players involved, which is the Marvels.
The Marvels.
The Marvels.
Yeah, okay. So obviously we're getting Kamala Khan, we're getting Miss Marvel, and we're getting Monica Rambeau, mm-hmm. right? But, dude, we're getting, like, the OG Miss Marvel with that sick-ass fucking lightning strike on her fucking chest. I'm excited for that.
It would be really cool if they actually show her because, again, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, mm-hmm. can pull that character out. And it's like, all right, this makes sense.
But that's also Kamala's logo, too.
Yeah,
so that's
true.
a little, like, you know, I think, but, like, her logo is already in the A, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like, I want to say, like, all right, that's an additional character.
And even then, like, that, the kind of the color scheme around everything didn't scream Kamala Khan. Mm-hmm. It really kind of did Miss Marvel in a bit.
Yeah, it really gave me that, like, black and gold feeling. Mm-hmm. Like, that was way more just, like, it was his own thing. Yeah, I agree. So I'm hopeful for that, because, like, that costume, that was, like, one of my first really favorite female characters, because I was like, I just saw the image of, if you saw that costume, you know what I'm talking about.
It's a great costume.
It's a great costume. So that's what really got me into Miss Marvel really early on, you know, so that's who I'm excited for. Before she got the mohawk and everything, you know.
And it would be really cool to see that, because Miss Marvel in general as a character, like, is a really dope one, and it's kind of sad to see that she never really got her spotlight,
right?
And that we're only getting Captain Marvel and Kamala Khan's version. So to see that, like, if we get the original one, that'd be really cool, because that's the one that we grew up with. Right. That's the one that we played all the video games with. That's the costume that we are the most attached to.
You know, going on NBC or Ultimate Alliance, you know, like, that's the one we know.
That's the one.
And I like new Carol Danvers for sure. I'm all for it. You know, like, I think it's a better one as far as you know, where the hierarchy goes in superheroes are, you know, like, I think it's a great evolution for Danvers, but, like, you know, I do like that old fit, you know, it was pretty dope, you know, you got the domino mask and this little skin tight little whatever that shit's called.
And I'm really curious to see, because this is going to be another one of our space adventures. And this is a heavily dedicated space adventure.
A lot of these, like, most of these movies are starting to, like, take place outside of Earth, which is crazy.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm really okay with that, because in a way, like, I really don't want Earth to be the center point. I really want to expand all these different places, all these different, like, avenues that we can really go for.
But Earth is gonna double down, how I see it, with, like, armor wars and shit like that. We're gonna have some, like, hero-killing armory.
Yeah, we're gonna see some insane shit. Secret Invasion only happens on Earth for it to, like, matter. And Armor Wars, like you mentioned, like there's a lot of cool shit, but I'm really glad that we're able to see so many different things because the shows are going to be very Earth dedicated.
Right.
So to see the movies go kind of out there and see, you know, what is in the great beyond, we don't know. And what could be in the micro scale or in the quantum realm.
Or the macro scale.
Macro is big.
I know. Ant-Man turns big too.
That's a good one. Well, because it's the
Quantumania.
Quantumania. I still don't know how to pronounce the fucking title. I'm really excited about this one.
I am too, dude. I really am excited. I'm a big Ant-Man fan, dude. And I feel like that's the franchise stuff the most. And it's like one of the ones I find the most exciting because Paul Rudd is just so like. I could just watch the movie and not have any expectations, and it could be a dog shit, and I'd still having a great time, you know?
I mean, the fact that his magic trick became a thing.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And then for other, like, what is the name of the agent in WandaVision? I forget his name.
Oh, Jim Woo? Or that's his real
Jim
name,
Woo.
Right? Yeah.
To see that he's like, because remember in Ant-Man and the Wasp, he's like, how'd you do that card trick when he's just pulling stuff out of nowhere and he's so fucking confused. And then Jimmy Woo starts doing that in WandaVision.
Yeah, he's like so like full of himself too. I love that. I really want to see Luis become some type of superhero, alright?
I do too. I feel like it, especially since he's like, I want a suit. Can I get a suit? It doesn't even have to have anything. I just want the suit.
Exactly.
Power.
He is so deserving. He's backed up, you know, like Ant-Man so much. Like he's One Punch Man in the Marvel universe. I don't know if you guys noticed. Everyone he's punched in the face to sleep. They go in memes. It's a meme on the internet already. My guy is stronger than a lot of other Avengers, okay?
He needs the suit. He already got the power.
He just needs the suit. I'm so with it. I'm so with it.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I just want to see Ant-Man and the Wasp just to see those characters again. Because those characters, honestly, I think just as a cast by themselves, I think they're the funnest cast just to watch.
Yeah, hell yeah. And like the little family dynamic they have going on with like Hank Pym, he's an asshole, but he's still kind of funny. You got T.I., you can't go fucking wrong with Tip, you know? Like, the co-cast is like, they're all goofballs together, you know? They feel like friends. When I watch the movie, it doesn't feel like they're scripted as friends. They feel like they're actually friends, you know?
And like, just all the interactions it is always so organic. It just feels so fun to see. So I'm really excited to see, you know, what they do in the future with that.
Yeah.
And kind of going to like the next best dynamic in terms of a family, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Super excited for that one. Guardians is my favorite franchise of the Marvel Universe.
It's definitely up there. It's definitely up there. And also the title kind of looked like Knight Riders, where Kip's kind of the grill of Kip.
I gotta rewatch that. Holy shit. Yeah, I would love to get Knight Rider.
And that's like really cool. Because remember also we saw David Hasselhoff in the second one. You know, Ego.
Sylvester Stallone.
No, David Hasselhoff. Because Ego transforms into him. Because he's like, isn't this like one of your big people?
But we still need to get Sylvester Stallone back
True.
in. Like, he had such a little minute role. I'm like, dude, like, that's such a tease. And he looks so badass, bro. His whole suit, like, reminded me of, like, Phoenix from, like, Gears or something. Like, he was just, like, head to toe juiced all. Like, fuck yeah.
Heck yeah.
If I'm going to space, that's how I want to look.
So, I'm curious to that.
Give me the lookbook, Sylvester Stallone.
So, to see, you know, Knight Rider, the Kip fucking thing, we might get a lot of, like, 80s and 70s action hero stars potentially showing up.
Yeah.
We've seen before.
That's very much, like, you know, the tone of that movie,
and it would make sense for Guardians of the Galaxy, you know, very heavily 80s inspired with the music, a lot of the art direction.
What if, like, that one movie with all, like, the big, like, action stars from back in the day, like...
The Expendables.
Yeah, dude, I would not mind for, like, the Expendables to, like, somehow come in here. Because we already got Sylvester and Hasselhoff in there, you know, and there's plenty of other people to choose from that era.
Terry Crews in the MCU then. Let's do it. Let's run it. The reason, like, it's beyond me as why he's not already in there.
I agree, bro. He's so charismatic. Terry Crews could totally be in that fucking movie.
Heck yeah, man. Just have his Chi-Chi's balance the entire time. That's all you gotta do. It'll be dope.
There is a DC character. I know this is Marvel, but his power is, like, when he flex, like, fucking, he can manipulate the world or even break the fourth wall or go in between the comic, even though they're living in real life when he flexes. I didn't know that was the thing. Yeah,
that's actually really cool.
So, like, if Terry Crews could somehow be that equivalent in the Marvel universe, that'd be fucking insane, dude. That'd be so fucking insane.
Yeah, Another Old Spice commercial reference. Explosion! And then finally to run it off with this very long Marvel setup. Fantastic Four. The first family that we've ever seen from the Marvel Universe, I think.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, it is the Fantastic Four. And Big Daddy Doom gotta be there. And at this point, I honestly think Doctor Doom should be taken care of in the Fantastic Four film. I don't think he should ever be introduced. I would be so pissed off if that's his introduction. I really think that should be kind of them finally going after him.
I agree. I want him to at least get started in Wakanda Forever.
Yeah, I really think he needs to get started there. Or even if they go all the way to the Eternals. Because if Eternals set up the mutants, Doctor Doom can do some of Latveria stuff, which for those of you who don't know, Latveria is also home to a lot of evil mutants that are there too.
The Red Skull fights there.
Yeah, the Red Skull fights there. And there's a lot of stuff too that is being set up that Latveria could be the very big situation. Because even in the Spider-Man film, and in the game too, they talk about the nation that Latveria invades to then take over, and then that's when all the superheroes get into the conflict, and then that's when Doctor Doom gets involved and whatnot and starts fighting these people. So we got so many dope shit, so many potential amazing villains that can be there, you know, so many really awesome characters that we could potentially shine and whatnot. And when we see them, you know for a fact we're going to talk about it.
Oh, hell yeah,
we're going to talk about it on and on.
Oh, it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a great year.
It's going to be a great year. Loki's coming in next month. So we have another Marvel movie or another Marvel show that we'll be talking about every single week.
I'm so excited for Owen Wilson. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I'm so excited that he's finally in the MCU.
Wow. He's got to say at least one.
At least one.
So, that is the Marvel news in a nutshell. I know there's a lot of there. Took a long time for us to get through it, but there's a lot to get through.
Per usual, you know how we are.
Yeah, and we like to talk about it. We're nerds. But not only are we nerds in the traditional sense,
but we fucks with some hip-hop, so let's go.
We're really big music nerds. So now, an announcement that really kind of no one is talking about right now.
Which sucks.
It sucks.
Come on, let's give some love to my boy Zaywap.
Oh no, I was talking about J. Cole though before.
Oh no,
because J. Cole, you know, he had.
People were talking about J. Cole.
Yeah, but I feel like Isaiah is taking a lot of the steam right now. He's taking a lot of traction. Sure. So before we get to Isaiah, J. Cole announced that he's releasing an album. I think it actually comes out tomorrow, if I remember correctly from the post. If not, then the following Friday. But he really is like, hey, new album, no real promotions. This is the release date, and I'm curious. Because KOD was a good album.
KOD goes hard as shit.
It does go hard as shit. But I felt like that album didn't make as much traction. It really didn't hit nowhere near as hard as Forest Hill Drive did. And even the previous album, I can't even fucking remember it, the name of it. I feel like J. Cole is still a prominent member, but I don't think he's one of the monoliths anymore.
As far as like skill goes, like if we had like the stats, you know, like pull up 2K or Tony Hawk or FIFA, and we see their stats, he has like the higher stats for sure. Like he's that like S tier class card, you know, still up to this day. But the thing is, like, he doesn't really talk about shit like I want to sing about, get hyped about, be excited for, you know. Like I feel like every time a new album of J. Cole comes out, like I'm gonna sing along to it, I'm gonna listen to it over and over. But then after, like, a week or so, like, I'm going to move on because, like, I already learned my lesson moving on. Like, his music doesn't really, like, get me hyped and excited, you know? Like, it's more just like, fuck, bro, like...
He'll have, like, really amazing tracks.
Yeah, hell yeah. But it doesn't feel like I'm having a good time. Like, that's my thing with, like, Pac and Biggie, right? West Coast till I die. I love Pac. Pac is amazing. I'm not ever gonna say otherwise, you know. I could quote a motherfucking Pac song like nothing. But like, bro, like he's way too woke. He has way too much shit to say. It's like I'm trying to have fun. That's why I was like the Biggie guy. Biggie's my boy, you know. Like, so like that's my like the skill is there. He is excellent, you know. Like he is one of the pinnacles of rappers. Not even into this generation, but since hip hop has become a thing. But boy, it's like yo, like. can we just have a good time? Can I get another Mr. Nice watching me or some shit? Like, let's have buzz your hair again. The dreads, I don't know, like, the serums you're using to make your dreads keep, like, a nice smell so you don't have to shower as often. Like, it's getting inside your pigments and, like, it's causing some defects there, bro. You're too sad right now, right? Shave your head again. Let's get that nice, clean face so you can get the oxygen going and let's come back for another album. Let's come back. That's what I want.
Yeah, because same here. Like, I mean, not to that degree, but I think I'm having the same kind of situation with J. Cole, which, like, I know I'm gonna enjoy the album. I know it's gonna be like a good album from like a critic standpoint, and it's gonna be a well-crafted album.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like you said, I think really the only album I ever come back to from J. Cole's is Forest Hill Drive. Mm-hmm. The other ones, you know, I'll find a song that I like, I'll play it, and then I won't listen to anything from that album for like another 4 or 5 months. And that's kind of the same cycle that I deal with J. Cole's albums. Mm-hmm. And it sucks because, like you said, he is so good. He is so phenomenal at the craft. It's just unfortunately, like, the way he approaches it isn't something that's like, it just doesn't ring.
He's doing it too much too, because Kendrick did it with To Pimp a Butterfly. Mm-hmm. And everyone loved To Pimp a Butterfly, but no one's really replaying it, but he did it. And then he went somewhere else, but damn. J. Cole, he's just doubling down his same thing each and every time, and he does it better and better for sure. But it's the same vibe that he's doubling down on, you know? Like,
yeah, I can see that, yeah.
Like, that gets tiring, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like the McRibs. Like, eventually, like, McRib's good. I can't wait till next year when it comes back. I got the McRib again. Can't wait till next year it comes back. After the third time you get it, it's like, okay, I'm not gonna wait in line for this shit anymore. No one talks about the McRib anymore. That shit's
no one cares when it's back anymore.
It was tight, but now like it lost his appetite.
Which kind of sucks because again, J. Cole is one of the biggest players in hip hop just from name alone, and you know, I'm interested to see what the album's gonna be like and to see what the sound is. But the biggest, the news that we are the most excited about: Zaywap, Isaiah Rashad, fucking
hit the thing.
Fucking my favorite. So
this is earlier today.
Yeah, this is earlier today. This was at Fairfax, California. They did kind of a concert pre-showing kind of thing.
They gave out some goodies and stuff.
DDD likes to make sure that they show out for the community every single time my album goes out.
And like the Fairfax area, downtown area, like they do that a lot, you know. Mm-hmm. Like I went to like the sweater tapes. What was the A$AP Rocky ones?
The
cozy tapes. Those are the cozy tapes. You know, like those kind of events were pretty badass. I'm not gonna lie, and I wish I went to this one today, but like. It would have still been going on by the time we had to air. So
unfortunately, you know, because of our recording schedule,
we care about you guys.
Yeah, we do care about you guys.
Damn.
But Isaiah Rashad is my favorite artist from TDE.
He's my second favorite artist from TDE, but I think he's the most skilled.
So. Yeah. And ironically, like, this is someone we've been following for a very, very long time, since 2012, I think, because we were waiting for Sylvia to drop. When we talked about it.
Yeah.
Because Shot You Down just released. The original version, and then the video version with Schoolboy Q and J-Rock came out, and that's when Schoolboy Q was talking about Oxymoron before it released.
Yeah, so it's been a while. Was pretty good.
It's been a while. We've been following Isaiah for a very long time.
We saw Isaiah perform "Shot You Down" with fucking like. With the squad, bro. Yeah. Like, he had J-Rock on there also, bro. Q was Q there? No, Q didn't.
No,
Q wasn't there. But he did it with J-Rock, which was still pretty badass.
And then we saw him perform Pretty Little Birds with SZA.
Fuck, that was hype, bro.
That was so cool.
Lately, I feel like
and just hearing that, he came out of nowhere and just hit it. Like, it wasn't, like, waited or whatsoever.
It felt like ethereal, and my guts were just, like... I felt like Katara did some kind of water bending in my stomach. It just felt good. It was like weird.
Because everyone's like, is he gonna show? Is he gonna show? Yeah. And no one was for sure. Everyone said no, he's not gonna show.
I stayed hopeful.
Yeah, because
they didn't want to give him the slot.
And no other showing did he actually perform. I think that was the only slot that he actually showed up.
I think he was in several others, not many though.
Okay, well anyway, he was very exclusive.
And he wasn't supposed to be in that slot either. Mm-hmm. But the thing, like SZA gave him like 3 songs worth. Of course, like 1.5 she performed with. But like, dude, like, I'm so excited. And plus, SZA and Zaywap are like little brother and sisters.
They're little brother, little sister.
They came into TDE at the same time, so they have
in
that,
2013,
yeah.
So they've been working together. So now I'm really curious to see, because we haven't seen Isaiah in 5 years. He's been featuring on some songs, but very, very rarely, because of his own personal issues and life stuff. But we haven't seen him in 5 years, and rap has changed a lot since the last time we've seen him.
I'm welcoming that sound back. And the little snippets that we showed you, we didn't play the audio, but like they sound more hype than I'm used to from Isaiah.
Yeah.
They sound like fucking hype fucking songs. And I know the whole album's gonna be like that. You better not. But I'm fucking excited that we're getting like anthems I could like bump in the stereo,
So good thing for you to find out, because I read the article that TDE, I forget what magazine that they worked with, but it's like that was their rollout interview, that he's actually made a song on there that's supposed to be played in the club. He's made a song that's supposed to be played on the radio.
Hell yeah.
But at the same time too, there's so much intricacy and so much different things. What got me super excited was that in the article itself, the writer said that the beat sounds like it's a Jay Dilla beat that's in his Donuts era, which is one of his best albums of all time. It's considered a classic in hip hop, dripped in whiskey with a 4 a.m. vibe to it.
Ooh, that's an explanation.
And it's like,
there.
yo, I don't care what the fuck happens after the fact. I need to hear that shit.
I love that vibe, and we haven't been getting a lot of that lately.
Yeah,
Hell yeah, I'm with that.
And the thing is too, it's like, as soon as like we kind of assumed that it was gonna be Isaiah Rashad for a little while, because our light just died right now. That was a flashing red light. And we've kind of been like speculating, because he did a photo shoot like a month and a half ago. I'm like, yo, it's got to be Isaiah. It's got to be Isaiah. They wouldn't do a photo shoot for him for no
I went into
reason.
all these speculations on Reddit just to break it down, and I was like it seemed pretty clear it was gonna be Isaiah, but I still wanted to like look into everything. People they put an H and over and they capitalize it. So like, I think it's gonna be Schoolboy Q because there's a capital H and over, but the whole thing is capitalized over entirely. So it's hilarious to see like the TDE fan base, the way their brains go and shit.
Heck yeah. But it's really dope, because for me, like, even so, we're talking about J. Cole, where his albums, they really are, they're enjoyable for that moment, and you kind of walk away from them. Dude, for me at least, because I been listening to Sun Tirade a lot.
I'm still listening to Sun Tirade and Sylvia very regularly.
And is it just me, or the Sun Tirade still kind of sounds new? It still kind of sounds fresh. It
really
feels
does.
like it belongs in the current era of hip hop. And that's the crazy part, because this is something that was 5 years ago. This was his official debut album.
And Sylvia, which was like 8 years ago, still feels very re-listenable,
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so to see, because every second album that anyone on TDE drops that's on the label, that second album blows them the fuck up.
And the third one, it's always it's meant to be the commercial studio one.
Yeah. So to see, we had Little Sister become Big Sister.
Yeah.
We saw the little homie become Kung Fu Kenny. Pulitzer Prize winning Kenny. We saw J-Rock pop off for a while. Absol was cool for a minute. Inglewood Sir has actual fucking traction.
Sir is amazing, bro. Sir is amazing. His flow is nice. Man.
And people are recognizing, yo, this is one of the baddest dudes in like this R&B kind of soulful vibe.
I think it's like with Crash Talk too, I feel like this is the very like experimental Q
too.
So now like Q's great at making pop hits, but he really wanted to experiment with this one. So now he has like that itch, and he has the knowledge of making pop hits. Like this year's Q is gonna be fucking nasty.
Fuck yeah! So it's like, and now Isaiah's time is back. He's an older man. He's a father. He is now battled addiction and came out alive, and he is ready to go. And apparently, like in the best mental state that he's been in before.
Fuck yeah! And I love hearing that.
Fuck yeah!
Because when Cudi started to announce how well he came out of the darkness and stuff like that, all of these deals started to come to him. Now you see him in movies all the time, and he has his own TV shows and shit coming out, and big albums coming all the time. So that could be a great thing for Zaywap because
It
now
really
there's so much
is.
mental clarity where he could really just come in
and just attack for it.
fucking yeah.
And kind of one funny thing that I do want to like say though is because you were mentioning that like J. Cole, like I don't really want to like sing along to your shit. It's like really like I don't feel it. Ironically, Isaiah's all talking about like depression, fucking his dad leaving his family and stuff like that.
Yeah, but he doesn't say it like a lecture, you know?
Yeah, it's always kind of lighthearted but still serious.
Yeah, and he still like pokes fun at it too,
Uh-huh.
which I like, like. So even when he like brings up some deep shit, like he still makes it sound funny with the line after to at least like negate like the nastiness.
Heck yeah.
So like you could relate to it, but that emotional energy is not weighing you down. You're still on a vibe.
Mm-hmm. So I'm really curious to see what he does with that emotional energy that's been stored up for 5 years, all the trials and tribulations.
Right.
And mind you, the camp that TDE became in those 5 years, the just sheer amount of weight and power that
It's so funny.
Labor
Just like
has.
just a little black hippie back in the day, like the best album they had was Section 80 at the time,
Yeah.
like overly dedicated, like was such a big deal when like people found out that Wayne knew about Kendrick.
heck yeah, when people were like, yo, Kendrick is going on tour with guess who? Dom Kennedy.
Like, all these little things were humongous. And J-Rock was like the one leading the camp in the
Heck
beginning.
yeah.
He was the face of TDE in the beginning. So
Mhm.
it's so funny to see how like far we've become. Q was only like he was the hype man. He wasn't trying to rap. He didn't want to rap. He just like, yo, yeah, pay me like $250 a show and I'll just be the hype man. Like that's all you want.
Absol was J-Rock's hype man at the concerts. He talks about it on a track. Like that was his big claim to fame.
Yeah.
He blew up for a while, then he didn't.
Oh man. Rip. But yeah.
But again, like I'm just so excited to see what the TD camp, because we're talking about the Marvel rollout. We are gonna get a video of some sort tomorrow,
Yeah.
which can potentially be the TDE rollout because they've done it before.
Yeah, TDE is like one of the very few like music conglomerates who actually give a roadmap, and they don't do it often, but they do it. They try to give you a heads up of what to expect, and a lot of the things like they don't like to like release everyone sporadically. They like to release everyone in like a nested time frame too.
Yeah, so that way they can all kind of go on tour and fucking rake in so much money.
And maybe one day we'll get a Black Hippie tour.
Maybe
One day.
So I'm curious. We know for sure Isaiah is the first one I bet. His album comes out next month. June is the release of his album. So that's kind of why we're kind of speculating what's going to happen tomorrow. What do you think is going to be...
I think
the
we
lineup
need
afterwards?
to give the summer to Isaiah. We need to give the summer to Q. We need to give the summer to SZA. J-Rock is still pretty fresh from Redemption, so I'm not expecting a follow-up this year. If we can get Absol in, I'm with it too. But that fool needs to take his time to make sure perfection comes because the people are expecting perfection. So I hope those three roll out first in no particular order.
Yeah.
Because I want them to have the summer. Because once K-Dot comes in, doesn't matter the season. He won.
It's K-Dot's
yeah,
season.
exactly. So like I want the three A tier like artists in TDE to really shine this summer before they give out like Kendrick his rollout.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing. I think it's going to be, like you said, kind of the winter is going to be given to the youngest siblings. I think for sure that's going to be kind of their rollout.
Yeah, like Sir and Skywalker.
Yeah. Oh, I mean it's more so to like Zay and SZA. But I think...
Because I just as far as like sonically, they fit more in the later years. Cause that's easy. They're not summer listeners.
And I think like because my mindset is okay. You give the summer to Isaiah, you give the summer to SZA for sure. Then at the end of the summer, you give it to Q to make sure that everyone's kind of like, all right, everyone's going back to work.
Yeah,
shit's
and
opening
the
up
fall
again.
is still the party season,
Yeah.
so we still like have that.
And
shit
mind
going.
you, this is when quarantine should be lifted at that point.
And
So
when festivals start to like
who
get crazy.
better to start the party than with the man who was the party from the beginning?
Yeah, the big hype man, the OG hype man for TDE.
Like Call Green is fucking still one of the hypest songs TDE has ever produced.
Yeah, like that's still like one of like the biggest like songs when Kendrick goes live. Those are like one of the top 3 songs where he doesn't have to sing; the whole crowd does it for him.
Yeah, and that's a Q track.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I feel like that is for those 3. I feel like you give the winter to Sir if Sir's the next one up at bat.
Yeah.
Because, Sir's all that sultry, like he's all about that love making music.
Yeah,
That's
winter
cuddle
and
season.
spring. Winter and spring is his for Sir Skywalker.
You give him cuddle season and into Valentine's Day, like that's his dedicated time frame.
Yeah, so that fits. Damn, we're fucking geniuses.
Yeah. And then Absol, I don't care when it comes out, but I want it to come out right. And like you said, I feel like if anything, we give it to springtime, kind of like, bringing in new life, bringing in the new version of Absol.
Yeah,
bringing in his new life into his career.
Because his last album, I liked it, but like I didn't like it the way I liked his other albums.
Yeah.
And there were definitely songs there that I still put on repeat up to this day, but really like it's like being a fan of Earl Sweatshirt nowadays. Like, it's so esoteric where like you're not gonna really be able to talk to anybody about it.
Yeah, it's a very niche kind of album. So I want to see whatever he comes up with, because we know Absol can make heavy hits, but he can make some fucking amazing club hits too.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what happens. And Kendrick, he comes out whenever Top Dog says, "All right, time to make another 100 mil."
No, you know what? Like, I think he's the only one who comes out in his own terms, bro.
Yeah,
like, not when Top Dog says, "Let's go." Like, everyone stands at attention when Top Dog says it, but Kendrick.
Yeah, I feel like, and it's really fun to see Kendrick being that one and only.
But Kendrick's so damn wholesome, where he thinks of it like camp before he does anything for himself all the time. And
we shouldn't expect anything from Reason. That's kind of within reason, pun intended. His debut album was last year, I think, if I remember correctly. Yeah, last year. So we probably shouldn't hear from him for at least another year or two. Considering the TV camp and how they work, I feel like there's a lot of bigger acts. And I
would like to hear some features to keep him consistent.
For sure. But he still kind of has the little brother syndrome. And I want him to work through that first.
Yeah.
I want him to find his voice, because some tracks on that album that he had, New Beginnings, I think that album is honestly more solid than Absol's most recent album. It is an album that I come back to very, very frequently. The tracks that felt like him were so freaking good, and I think those were the standouts for sure.
From Soul or Reason?
From Reason.
Oh, okay.
But he does still have that little brother syndrome. So
yeah.
I want to see him work that out, and I kind of want to see what everyone else plays with first before we see him kind of come back at bat. Mm-hmm. And I think it's way too soon for him. But again, just the amount that TDE can drop and soon, it's as exciting as Marvel stuff is too.
Yeah.
And
but honestly, yeah. But like, I really hope Absol really comes. I don't want to sleep on him and just speak over him, because he's such a pinnacle part,
Heck yeah.
And his last huge song was with Mac Miller about the abuse of drugs too.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, we really haven't heard or really spoke upon Absol's mental state lately. So I wonder what's gonna come out of that,
Yeah, because this is a man who his biggest album came after the death of his girlfriend.
Yeah.
His longest time girlfriend.
But there's so much confusion there, because it came out with so much hype, where people were even saying he's a better rapper than Jay-Z. Mm-hmm. Absol was at the point where the numbers weren't there, sure, but he was the rapper's favorite rapper. He was at the point where he was so respected by the entire industry by such a volume, and that's been taken away from him for such a long time. So
and so I think we really want to see him come back to that.
Yeah,
because we know he's capable of it.
He is.
And in a rap environment where lyricists aren't as strong as they normally are, he has the ability to separate himself so very heavily compared to a lot of different other rappers, as he did back then too.
Right.
So I'm really curious. But only time will tell.
Time will tell.
And tomorrow we'll hopefully get an answer to see what the potential rollout may be.
And I'm so excited. Yeah, for sure. And you guys should fucking be all over Spotify or YouTube or whatever tomorrow. This TDE shit's a big deal. So
it's a humongous deal.
Let's get
but
it.
Most importantly, make sure let us know to see comment, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff.
Pull up our socials real quick.
Socials there. This is where you can find us. And I feel like this we've talked a lot about a whole bunch of different topics.
Yeah, it was a very dense episode. It's a pretty good one.
Last week we may have not too much to talk about. This one we had too much to talk about.
We're trying to balance it out, though.
That's
what we're doing out here. Let's pull up Malcolm. Applause to our producer.
Applause to our producer, Malcolm.
It's so difficult without you.
It really is. It makes their life so much easier.
Okay, so until next week, though, thank you for watching.
We'll catch